Today I'm going to show you 5 ways I use diatomaceous earth on my homestead. Let's go! I'm Becky. I used to live in the consumer rat race just like you. But one day I had enough, so I sold it all, moved to the country, and built my own log cabin with my own 2 hands. Now I spend my time discovering new ways to live a simple, healthy lifestyle with more free time and way less stress. Then sharing what I've learned with you. Welcome to Becky's Homestead. I got my diatomaceous earth in the mail today, and so I'm going to open this up and show you what it looks like, how it comes to you. And this is it. Now it is kind of packed in here tight, so it takes a second to, it's like forms perfectly to the box. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you get it out of the box. Food grade, diatomaceous earth, 100% fresh water. That's what you're looking for. This is fabulous stuff. I have been deworming all my animals with this for over 10 years, well over 10 years. All my animals are so happy and healthy. It's very, very important to deworm your animals. It just improves their lives so much if you deworm them regularly. I want to point out how beautiful the animals look when you deworm them with this diatomaceous earth. Each and every one of them just have a beautiful feathers. They're nice and smooth. They're poofy, bright red combs, bright eyes, and they're just with it. They're sharp and with it and walking around happy. That's what you're looking for in your animals. That's how you want them all to look, whatever kind of animal you have. Another way I use it is I sprinkle it in my chicken coop. Now I'm using a little small chicken coop now because we just moved and I haven't had a chance to build a nice big wooden hen house and coop. What I want to point out is don't put it in the nest box. The chickens don't like it in the nest box. It gets on their eggs and they don't like that. So if you put it in the nest box, they might quit laying eggs in the nest box. So just sprinkle it all around the coop. Like this little nest box is up on legs, so I'm going to tip it over and put the diatomaceous earth under the nest box and then tip the nest box back up. So I instantly see bugs under there, you know, which if the chickens could get those, they would, but they can't because the bugs are hiding underneath the nest box. So I'm just going to sprinkle this under the nest box, and I'm going to do it kind of heavy. Then I'm just going to flip the nest box back up to where it was. I find chickens don't like when you move stuff around too much. They get settled. They like things the way they are. They get used to that. And if you go moving everything around, then it's like starts all over again. They have to get resettled. And chickens are not exactly fast at getting settled. They take their sweet time. So once you have them settled and they're laying and things are going good, don't touch it. It's like, leave it alone. And you might have the urge to do stuff in there. Fight the urge and just keep it clean and keep them well fed and dewormed. I use diatomaceous earth to deworm my horses, and I've been doing it for well over 10 years. I just want to point out that Thunder is 30 years old, and look how fantastic he looks. He's just all around perfect health, and I do think deworming your animals regularly makes them have a long, healthy life. All right, so I'm going to tell you how I do it. He needs a little bit of senior food, which I just started doing this year at 30 years old. And so I wet that because it's a pellet and I just want it moist because nobody has that much saliva to chew up those dry pellets. And then what I do is I'll put a half a cup of the diatomaceous earth in his food that's already moist and wet, and I'll stir that in so it's completely moist and wet. It's not powder anymore. And then I just feed that to him. Now how I deworm my animals, once they're completely worm free, The pattern I use is I will deworm them 10 days in a row. Once a day, I will give them each a half a cup. 10 days in a row. That's how long the cycle is. Now, I will probably do that. I can tell how mine look, and I can pretty much tell when I need to do it. But for sure, you need to do it in the spring and the fall. Now, if your animals come to you, like you rescued an animal or you just bought an animal, and you really don't know, the status of the worms, and it doesn't look too great, you can do it 5 days on, 5 days off, and sometimes you have to do that as long as 6 months. Now remember, this is not a chemical wormer. It is a natural wormer, so it takes a little longer. The way I use it in my garden is, today it's going to be on the fig tree. I looked up about fig trees, how to take good care of them, and what you want to have around your fig tree is silica, which is sand, and diatomaceous earth. So what I'm going to do, this is how I keep it in just this container. So I'm going to take some diatomaceous earth and I'm going to sprinkle it around the bottom of my fig tree. Now I want to make the point to everybody, don't just get the poofer, because I have like a poofer to dust things, and just start poofing that stuff all over the place. Because if you have a garden, you want bees. You want your bees to visit and pollinate everything. Well, the diatomaceous earth can be harmful to the bees. So you don't want to like cover everything in your garden in diatomaceous earth. So like if you need a little bit around the bottom of a plant that just needs some of it, or maybe you have a very damaged plant with some kind of insects or bugs that are eating it, yes, you can probably poof that one small area, that one plant. Don't overdo it because we love the bees. Another way you can use diatomaceous earth is to keep bugs away. So you can sprinkle it around your foundation all the way around. Just go ahead and just, get whatever you have. Like actually a pizza cheese shaker works really well. You can fill that up and just shake it. Or, you don't have to do it perfectly. So you can just use like a little thing and just sprinkle it. Let me tell you something I did in the past that was so effective. My first property that I owner financed had this really, really old lousy trailer on it. And the guy I was buying it from brought in this stove, and it was the worst stove ever. He clearly had that outside somewhere, and there was like a roach nest in there, a German cockroach nest in there, and they were just all over that trailer pretty soon. So I'm just like, oh boy, I got to get rid of these. So what I did was mix diatomaceous earth with dry boric acid. I just mixed that up, and then I just sprinkled it, because my kids were young, sprinkled it around the edges of everything, like opened the kitchen cupboards, sprinkled it in there, around the baseboards, just the crack of the wall. I have to tell you, it completely eradicated those cockroaches, like gone. Now it took a little while, it wasn't like overnight. Probably took like a month or less, gone. I was just like, yes, it was so awesome just to get rid of those nasty things out of my house. I also deworm my dogs, 2 of them, and my cat. Now how I accomplish that is I use my half a cup measuring scoop, and what I'll do is I'll dump that into the bag of kibble, and I'll mix it in good, shake it down, mix it in, tip the bag, mix, until it's evenly distributed, and then usually the fat on they spray it on that kibble or whatever they do to get enough fat on there, will absorb the diatomaceous earth, so you won't even be able to see the white of the diatomaceous earth. So just, better to not overdo it. Now this would probably do about a full 10-pound bag. Like if you just buy a teeny weeny little 3-pound bag, 5-pound bag, use less. Don't use a half a cup. And then just mix it through there, and how you're deworming them this way is it's a daily dewormer, and they will just get a little bit every day, and it does the job perfectly as well. I use a 1/2 cup scoop, and I will use this in a 10-pound bag all the way up to a 25-pound bag. Just mix it in good, really well, until you can't see it anymore. Click the link below to get your diatomaceous earth to deworm all of your animals. Thanks for watching. Happy homesteading. Bye-bye.